my wonderful listeners. Welcome back to episode 98, part 2, with the great teacher Melanie Stevenson, where we're diving deep into this kind of an issue called fluency in 3 months. Did you hear the part 1? If you didn't, I suggest you to go to the previous episode and check it out. If you did, just wait for this one, because if you like the first one, part 2 will be even more exciting. Fluency in 3 months, is it really possible? And then we're going to be talking about immersion. We're going to be diving deep into immersion myths, guru hype, and the truth behind quick fluency. How to reach it. How do you do it? Leave us in the comments below how you actually reach fluency. Talking to you, all educators and teachers. How do you do it? How do you practice this fluency with the kids, with your students? How do you make them progress, real progress there? Let's hear what Melanie brings us today with part 2. Let's get started.
I have a personal story I want to share, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I did say that I grew up in Guyana in South
Yeah.
America, but when I was 2, my family moved us to Brazil. So I actually lived in Brazil from the age of 2 until 7
How's the
before
Portuguese
return.
there?
Exactly, great. It was quite interesting because I was only 2. I had to call up my father and ask, "Do you remember how long it took me as a child to become fluent?" And he said, "Yes, 18 months."
Wow.
So we know that kids absorb language very naturally,
Mm-hmm.
right?
True.
Like native speakers, um, more easily than adults, especially if they haven't hit puberty yet, right? Puberty is
Yes.
that marker
And that's it.
where, yeah.
Yes.
And I was 2 and 18 months. I was
Wow.
speaking Portuguese like a native speaker.
Wow.
Um, so once again, that debunks the 3-month rule,
Definitely.
right? Or the 3-month promise, I should say.
Yes. The promise, I would say. Yeah. That's what they
Yeah,
promise. Three
absolutely.
months.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hmm.
Even a baby, like the example that you're giving us, it's really interesting because it
Hmm.
actually takes the immersion to another level. It's not 1 month, it's not 2 months. It took you like
Right.
18 months to do it. And it's like, okay, that tells you
Yes,
something, right? So it's not
exactly.
true that you can actually just become fluent 3 months. It's impossible.
No,
And as
no,
you said,
it's
depending on the language also.
right. Some languages are harder if you've got a different writing system,
Yeah,
like Asian languages,
yeah.
Chinese, Japanese, Thai, and so
Not
on.
only writing, but it's a
Hmm.
tonal language.
Yes,
Tonal language works totally different than the system that we have.
right.
Romance languages come from another root. Then we have
Yeah.
the other ones that actually come from the tonal languages, the Indo languages. It's another system. It's something that we cannot actually just learn even 1 year. I think that to master Chinese, you need at least 7, 8 years, 10 years.
Okay, that much,
I
huh?
don't think I don't think you can master it.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
Chinese native speakers
Hmm.
cannot speak like the way they must speak, like the way the language is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Even
like,
those who were
oh,
born there and they go to
yeah,
school
yeah, 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 yeah.
and everything.
That's why Chinese is one of the most difficult subjects that kids have in China. It's
I
one of the
see.
most difficult ones because it's really hard because you need to actually learn two systems, the
Right.
how to pronounce it and then how to write it.
Yes.
Or I would say how to draw it. It's like a
Exactly.
drawing.
Right. And to add more to that, you've got traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese,
Exactly.
right? Which
The
ones?
traditional.
Yeah. Do the kids learn traditional Chinese in
No,
school?
simplify. Because the
Oh.
traditional, it's even bigger. I mean, it's totally hard.
Hmm.
They learn a
Right.
bit, but they don't learn the whole thing. Just the
Gotcha.
simplify. And keep in mind that Mandarin is just one type of Chinese in China, because there's
That's
another type
right.
of Chinese down south, like in the north. I mean,
Yep.
anywhere. In China, it's totally different.
Exactly.
You got the
Exactly.
Cantonese, the Mandarin, you got Taiwanese,
Right.
which is also a little bit different, also in the
Yeah.
pronunciation aspects as well. So
Right. And
those
then
type of
further
languages is,
north, closer to Mongolia too, right? It's a little different.
yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it sounds a lot different. It sounds a lot different.
Yes.
That's why I was actually trying to learn a little bit, but then it was like,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Even being
Yeah.
there, immersed, let's say I'm immersed
Hmm.
3
Right.
years, I'm trying,
Exactly.
and
Exactly. Keep going.
I cannot master it. I
Right.
cannot even pass that basic level of the tones. Too hard.
Excuse me. Yeah, because you spent your entire life just
One
focusing on
system.
the words,
Yeah.
right? And you change your tone to indicate emotion. But now in Chinese,
Also,
you have to change your tone to indicate meaning,
yes.
right? So it's a whole different
Hard.
use of
Yeah.
tone. Oh
So
my
tell me about
gosh.
it. We got this one.
Yeah,
Let me tell you this one.
I'm
The
listening.
in
Yeah.
Chinese they have four tones.
Yeah.
The first one, it's like a V. It's an accent, In Spanish, it's
Mhm.
called like tilde or
Yes,
acento. Yeah,
right.
that one. But in Chinese, there are four. So one is like the other one
Hmm.
is the other one is and the other one is uh. Maybe I'm making a mistake there,
Perhaps
but
I don't, it's so subtle.
yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah. And if you want to string that in a sentence, how easy it is to go up instead of down,
Mm,
for example, right? And then you end up changing the meaning of the word.
the whole sentence.
Right. Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much hard actually for me. But that's what happened, talking about the fluency and talking about how to become fluent in 3 months is impossible, especially with these
Yeah.
languages or any other language. Anyway, even if there's a language that is quite easy,
Yeah.
not gonna be like 3 months. It's totally, no, it's not realistic. It's
I
surreal.
agree. I agree. I found two more examples where two separate people became fluent in 6 months.
Mm,
And in both situations, it was out of absolute necessity. It was a survival skill.
mhm,
So I recognize now that um, they sacrificed a lot of accuracy in order to be fluent so that they can survive in the new
mhm.
country. One is an example of a friend of mine who is from the Philippines, and I met her when I was living in Thailand.
Yeah.
She had moved a few years prior, and um, she had to just get in there. So she learned to speak Thai very naturally, very organically in about 6 months. And this was from chatting with people in the stores. The taxi culture is still very huge, as
Oh,
opposed to Uber or something else,
yeah.
right? Taxi drivers. She said that's how she learned, to the
Mm,
point where another friend had to file a police report, and
well,
my Filipina friend was the interpreter.
no
And that's a
way.
serious
Wow.
situation, right? Talking to
Wow.
the police, translating for the other friend, and so on. And the second situation is one of the family members of that Iraqi family that I volunteered to teach.
Yeah.
It was a large family. And one of the kids, who was 15 at the time, they moved to Canada as refugees, and they often don't have a lot of notice, right? And they don't have at the time they didn't have a choice.
Got it.
With their asylum application, the UN said you're
Hmm.
going to Germany, Australia, or Canada. We'll let you know.
Well,
So finally, they said, okay, you have been approved to go to Canada. And within one school semester, about a half a year, the 15-year-old son was fluent and he was using slang and saying things like, yeah, bro, and dude, I tell ya.
all right.
You know, that kind of thing. And that's
Yeah,
was his survival skill because, as soon as they arrived, he had to jump into school, high school at 15 years old,
of course.
and he was able to pick it up in that
The
amount of
slang.
time. Yeah, including slang.
Yeah,
Whereas his parents and the younger siblings took much longer,
got it.
right? Yes.
Immersion, definitely.
Immersion. Yeah, if it's desperate and if it
Yes.
requires survival, you could do it in 6 months, let's say. Whether you're accurate
Mm.
is another question.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Accuracy against fluency.
Right,
Well,
right. That's always a balance, right?
yeah,
Right. And that's an
that's pretty
issue
much.
with your Chinese students, I'm sure. Their priority is accuracy over fluency. Am I right?
Mm.
That's why
It's
they
so
don't
divided.
volunteer to speak? No?
Yeah, kind of. The thing is that
Uh,
yes, it happens like that, but it is so hard, so complicated to put all the students like in one box. I mean,
I see. Okay.
but yes, as I
Mhm.
told you at the beginning, it's like that. Most of them actually they don't want to talk because they're afraid they're not gonna be expressing correctly or something like it. But
Gotcha.
on the other side, it's like parents push their kids to go ahead and talk, but
Hmm.
the kids still stay there. You know, they don't want to actually just cross that line because
Right.
they're afraid.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the little babies, for example, they actually pay teachers to be there with them and immerse with the teachers.
Is
Have
that
that immersion,
so?
yeah, with little babies. I'm telling you, 2 years old,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and they pay actually a teacher to go every day.
Okay.
On the one hand,
Wow.
it's a really good one for the
Yeah.
teacher. For the
Of
other one,
course.
also because the baby also just start like even speaking English as another
Right.
language, and it's gonna be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's an interesting phenomenon.
Yes.
And to be fair, the younger a person learns a language, the better,
True.
generally
Definitely.
speaking.
Yeah.
So I can see the reason for that motivation to get teachers in with the babies.
E- 2 years old. They cannot even walk well. It's still like that.
Wow.
They
So
cannot
they're
even speak
practicing.
their own language.
Well, so
True.
they grow up bilingual,
Yeah.
right? So
Bilingual.
like myself in Brazil, because at 2 years old, um, I was speaking some English, but obviously a 2 year old isn't, like you just said, speaking fully,
Yeah.
right? So
S-
I grew up speaking both English and Portuguese and learning them at about the same level
That's pretty good.
as a
Well,
toddler.
that's one of the things that I actually love from kids.
Mhm.
That's why I'm still teaching kids, and it's really good
Uh-huh.
experience actually having them because they learn pretty
Okay.
quick.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
well,
Um,
I'm sometimes I get like really shocked. I get shocked because I see them, using the language and just trying to imitate something or trying to sing this or trying to tell something. And suddenly
nice.
they start like sharing their own thoughts in a second language. It's like, how did you learn
That
that?
that's wonderful. And they don't yet have that reticence,
Mm,
or what if I'm not good enough?
Do you speak English with a foreign accent, or do you just want to learn English? If yes, Diction HQ is for you. We're the language learning headquarters. Learn English from beginner to advanced. Train your accent to sound more North American. We tailor lessons just for you and your language needs. And want to learn Spanish? We do that too. DictionHQ.com.
Yeah.
They just blah,
They
blah,
just go
blah,
and do
let
it.
it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. And it's
So cute.
joyful to see as a teacher, right?
Whoa. No, love
I'm
it.
sure.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. It is really beautiful. It's really nice to see
Yeah,
to see them and hear them.
yeah.
Now,
And what age group are those kids,
these ones are
if I may?
um 4 years old. Yeah.
Mhm.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Okay, perfect age.
That's it. But
Oh my
once you
gosh.
just go 12, something's going on there. 13,
Yes,
that's it. 14, thank you.
right.
15,
Yeah, because
okay. Nothing to
I
do
know
there.
exactly. Because your brain chemistry actually changes
Yeah.
during uh,
Puberty, I just
puberty.
say, yeah.
Yeah. So someone who started to learn English as a teenager will most likely have an accent
Mhm.
influenced by their first language. Whereas someone like the little kids that you have,
Yeah.
they will speak English very naturally. They will sound whatever English they hear, that's how they will speak, whether it's
Yes.
American or British English or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
That's
it's
beautiful.
fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
absolutely.
Now, moving on, because I'm
Sure.
gonna get a little
Oh,
bit emotional here with these kids.
okay, go ahead.
You
Don't do
know,
that.
talking about emotions. What do you think is this emotion? What kind of emotional pressure or unrealistic expectations can this 3 months fluency promise create for learners?
Mhm. Um, in my opinion, um, fear. It starts with fear. Um, fear, it's such a powerful emotion. Fear of failure, right? These are the expectations. If I don't learn in 3 months, I'm afraid I'm not good enough. I'm afraid
Yes.
I'll fail. Um, fear of missing out. Have you heard, are you familiar with FOMO?
Yeah,
FOMO?
FOMO. Yeah.
Fear of missing out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the guy said all these other people had success learning
Yes.
a new language in 3 months. Me too. I want to learn it too.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out, fear of being excluded, um, pressure to perform, right?
Definitely.
That's one of the pressures. If I don't perform well, then I'm a failure. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves as humans. We
True.
often have high expectations, and that's another reason why fast fluency or fluency in 3 months um, is so popular because of the pressure. We have high expectations. I can do it. I'm going to try it.
Exactly. But that's
Right.
gonna that's gonna actually backfire you, in the end.
Absolutely.
That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Right. So we have that pressure that's telling us, okay, if I learn this language in 3 months, I'll get a better job. I'll get a promotion. I'll be respected by my peers and so on. But then you do have a lot of, uh, downfall too, right?
Exactly.
We don't
And
have
this
time
is
to
one of the problems.
practice.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. We might not have t enough time to devote to the lessons, time to practice, time to watch all of those movies and listen to all of those songs.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the issues because talking about one single student here,
Yeah.
suddenly this kid feels totally discouraged,
Mhm.
unmotivated, burnout. It has this feeling, and that's what happened after the 3 months because he actually noticed that he didn't learn.
Mm.
So what's going to happen with that kid that moves on? I mean, what's going to happen when he turns 15 or when he turns 20?
Right. When the language becomes harder to learn.
Exactly.
harder to absorb. Oh my gosh,
The result there,
oh man, we start to feel obviously frustrated, uncomfortable. Humans don't like to
exactly.
feel discomfort. We don't like to be uncomfortable. Um, we feel stupid. We beat up on I'm sorry to
Yes.
use that word,
No,
but
no, it is true.
right? Um, because we're not getting the concept. We're not at the level that was promised in the program, and then
Definitely.
we want to give up, right? And then your self-confidence, your self-esteem just drops.
And hold on there. And here's
Hmm.
another thing. What
Hmm.
happened with that student feelings like that? And then he just actually goes to another school. And they say, no, we're going to teach you. You're not going to learn in 3 months. You're going to learn maybe in a year, 2 years. You're going to get
Hmm.
fluent, yes. But then suddenly he's still actually under that pressure, psychological pressure, and trying to go a little bit, 3 months, and he doesn't see any changes. Then what's going to happen? The kid is going to be like, oh no, that's it. I'm a dropout. I'm going to just
Right.
bye bye. Until this moment, I didn't learn, and I didn't learn not because of me. Now I have to put the blame on others. The teacher was the bad one.
Yes. Mothers and teachers.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got it. Yes. Mothers and teachers. Yes.
Right, it's the teacher's fault, especially with this younger generation. When I was a kid, the teacher was always right. In my parents' eyes, the teacher was right. You, the child, are wrong.
Yes.
But when I started teaching in the 2000s, 2010s,
Yeah.
I did notice a huge change in the relationship among parent, student, and teacher. If
Yeah.
we're talking about students who are kids, the teacher is wrong. My child, the student, is right. You're not attending to how he learns,
Ooh,
which was very frustrating as a
it
teacher.
really is.
Right. And you're not allowed to say, your kid is a good student, but is always distracted by other things. You
Yeah.
can't say that.
Well, you
Your
said that
kid,
yeah, that's dangerous thing actually over there. Dangerous
right.
position over there. You can actually either be fired from school, you're gonna get fired from school,
Hmm.
or simply that's it, you're not a good
Yeah,
teacher, then you're gonna be labeled as not the good teacher in the school. So
exactly. Yeah. I have worked in a few public and private schools over the last many years.
yeah,
And there was one school that I worked at where the policy was you had to give a B, which was approximately 70%-ish, regardless of how the student actually performed in the subject. We, the teachers, had a little joke among ourselves that we would say, he's failing, that's okay. Give him a B for breathing.
that's a good one.
Yeah, a B for breathing.
Perfect.
So the
Same
culture
experience.
is changed, and now the teacher is at the bottom of the chain of respect,
Hmm.
which
True.
I don't like at all. However, most of my experience in teaching English ESL since 2017 has been with adults. During that time, I've
Oh,
only taught a few kids, but the adults present a different um, what's the word I'm looking for? They present a different attitude.
yeah.
They're there, they
There's a
are
goal.
there, yes,
There's a goal
because
there
they
within that.
want to learn. They're
Yeah.
not being sent to school because
Yeah.
it's the law,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, so it's a
They
lot
need
more
it.
rewarding.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. You know
and
what?
and you do
Here,
get a lot
here's
done.
something
Yeah.
that you're saying it's really interesting, something that is happening right now in the States.
Uh-huh.
But it's totally different what happened in China.
Oh, do tell.
In China, actually, teachers are respected, and whatever the teacher says is true.
I love that. Ugh. That's wonderful.
in
And that's how it
schools.
should be around
And
the
the school
world.
says like, okay, so
Mm.
we're gonna send homework and you gotta do it. Parents are like, okay, it is what it is. Do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, the teacher was very angry. Was like, okay, the teacher is right then because you were not paying attention. And hold on, because at home, you know,
Then you get
in
into
South
double
America they
trouble.
say, yeah, exactly. You know, in a house like in South America, el chanclazo they say, you know what, with the
Glass.
sandals over there.
Right.
Over here, or with the belt, whatever,
Right.
and it's yeah, it's not a joke, it's true, it actually
Yeah.
happens here still, and it's something like kind of an that might sound really bad, but it's quite good because at least as a teacher you don't feel you're alone. You feel like someone is backing you up. It's like, okay,
Right,
this is
right.
what happened. You know that the situation is the States. I study also in the States. You study obviously over there.
Yeah.
So it's totally different situation. But then coming over
Yes.
here and just experience this, and it's like, okay, it works. We don't
Yeah.
actually talk about so much of psychology or, oh, poor little kid. Be careful the words, political correctness and a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
No,
Right.
it is what it
Yeah.
is. It didn't work, so he failed. That's it.
Right. The
But
teacher
in
is the
school,
authority and the
yes,
parents are the authority.
yes,
Right. It's not the kid. Oh, what do
yeah.
you want? Yeah.
No, imagine. No, no, that doesn't happen. At least I
Right.
haven't actually seen it here.
I see.
Here
Okay.
actually goes the other opposite. I mean, the other extreme. Sometimes it's too
Okay.
much.
Right. That makes sense too.
Yeah,
So naturally, as parents, you want to find a balance,
yeah.
but culture, society, um, advice from the experts in your country will determine how you end up parenting. But I
Definitely.
do like that the teacher has more of
It's been backed
a
up by,
standing.
yeah.
Yeah, supported. Yeah, that's how it was when I was a kid, right? And I'm Generation X.
Yes. Oh, well, you had
Right?
it, and I also had it. I actually come from the following generation, uh,
Millennials.
millennials. Yeah.
Millennials. Good, good.
So I actually came
Yeah.
from another one, but I also
Hmm.
suffer a lot. It was totally different. I mean, the teacher was saying something. My mom believed what the teacher used to say, and she was not
Right.
like saying, "Hey, no, what are you talking about that about my son or something?" Never.
Hmm.
No, the teacher said it, so it's like that's the way it is.
Right. Yeah.
But
And
right now, it's
that's
like,
how
no,
it should be. Yeah. And even with my parenting style, I have two kids, and when they were in school, even if I know, like, your children, you know what their faults are,
exactly.
their weaknesses, even when I know my child was wrong and I had to talk to the teacher, I noticed that their teachers were very diplomatic.
Oh.
They always start with, your daughter is a very good student. She learns well, blah, blah, blah. But there's one little thing. Could you please try to work
Oh
on?
my God.
Soft, gentle,
Jesus.
diplomatic language, which some parents need to hear it like that. But other parents like myself, I didn't need that. You could tell me. I know, you
Exactly.
know
Because you're
what
a
my
real
kid is
mom,
capable.
realistic, My son is like this. My daughter is like this. It's because
Right.
they're like this. Okay, I believe you. Uh,
Yes.
the other
Yeah.
ones are totally blindfolded by their kids sometimes. I
Hmm.
think that's another aspect, the psychological aspect or how they were brought up actually when they were kids, I
Right.
guess. So
Yeah,
moving on a little
exactly.
bit on this
Yeah,
one, just to approach into the closing part of this
of
amazing time with
course.
you.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you believe are the essential stages of real fluency, and how long does each take?
Okay. That was a that's a pretty tough question. Um, and I'm going to refer to that textbook that I used
Mhm.
back when I was learning because they laid it out quite nicely. The main thing is what they called agency.
Yeah.
in that book, Teaching in Principle. Agency is your own ability to make choices, take control, self-regulate,
Hmm.
and thereby pursue their goals as individuals, leading potentially to personal or social transformation. So the first and most important stage is agency. Do I really want it?
Yeah.
Right? Am I motivated enough? Am I inspired enough to move forward and actually learn, dedicate a little time? Um, and within agency, you have um, the various stages, which I didn't write down, and I don't remember all of them. There were 8 stages of
Hmm.
agency, uh, talking about self belief in yourself, speaking, listening, and I can't remember the rest. And I'm sorry that
Right.
I can't remember them all.
It's okay.
Too
It's
bad of
okay.
them all.
But
Yeah.
I got the point because yeah, those are the stages of real fluency, the
Yeah,
stages
and
of
they
how you
would,
actually become, and it's like believe in yourself or speaking, then you have the pronunciation,
right,
the accent,
right,
phonics, and
exactly. And
yeah.
they take now, the textbook didn't give any timeline, but
Hmm.
based on personal experience as a language learner and as a teacher, minimum a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The first half of the year, you're just trying to absorb vocabulary,
Yeah,
structure, grammatical rules, right? And you're just trying to accumulate. And in the
definitely.
second half of the year, you are putting them together, right? It's like you have all these, a Lego set, right? And
Yeah,
you're building blocks that you have all the colors and all the sizes,
you gotta
and you
put them
play
in the
around
right
and you
place. Yeah.
experiment a little bit, and then eventually you build a house
Yeah,
or a structure with your Lego pieces. That's how I see it,
wonderful.
right?
Yeah,
And
that's the
that's
way.
the
Yeah,
minimum, right? It may take longer for others, right? If you're learning only twice a week, it'll take
exactly.
several years, I'd say.
Definitely. And what's
Mm.
one truth about language learning you wish everyone knew before starting?
Oh, the one truth is,
Here we
if
go.
you're, here we go. If you're learning a language from scratch, that it always gets worse before it gets better. That's the truth I want people to know. It gets worse before it gets better. You're going to go through the frustration, doubting yourself, feeling that you're never going to be able to achieve fluency. And you will have some moments where you feel a little bit depressed, perhaps,
Yeah,
but it does get better. So once you get over that hump, you see the light.
yeah.
And if we're
The light at
talking
the end of the
about
tunnel.
timelines, yeah, and if we're going to use 1 year, let's say, it's a nice round number, a
Yeah,
nice number. If we use 1 year, I would say that hump comes at about the halfway mark, the 6 month mark.
yeah.
So I want everybody to know that it's okay. You'll get over the hump. And suddenly
Exactly.
things, the light bulb will go off, and things that you were struggling with 2 months ago will suddenly become clear. And you'll be able to put it in a sentence and then multiple sentences, and your structure will feel more natural. You'll feel more comfortable speaking it or writing
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Yep.
And then you'll receive feedback from the listener who will nod their head and say, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying. I understand what you mean."
Exactly. So basically, all in all,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
it's enjoy the process
for
instead of
sure.
rushing to the destination.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? It's not about the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Although,
yeah.
as a teacher, it is about the destination because your
Yeah.
destination is fluency.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's enjoyment.
Yeah, yeah. And it could be lifelong for some people,
Yeah,
right? It may take
definitely.
years and years.
And there
Yeah.
comes many other factors, people who
Mm,
are actually naturally born for languages. They got this language talent. They can
right.
actually learn pretty fast. Fast
Yeah.
learners for languages
Yeah.
can also happen like that. Well,
Exactly.
it's been
Yeah.
a great, great time talking to you.
Yeah,
How
what a pleasure. I
amazing.
know we went
Yeah.
off topic a couple of times.
Yeah, but we went off topic because it was part of the whole thing, One thing brings another one. It's impossible to keep like
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
everything is
Yeah.
about fluency, how it actually uh how we cannot believe this type of
Right.
marketing stuff, 3
Right.
months and the experiences that
Exactly.
you've had, experience I've had, and that's something
Right.
that the audience is pretty interested
Yes.
to
And if
listen to.
that's right. And if a person does buy a Fluent in 3 months type of program, then that student should immediately tell themselves, okay, it's probably going to take more than 3 months, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with me
Yeah,
if I'm not fluent in 3 months.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you very much
Hmm.
again, Melanie,
Yeah. Thanks,
for
Mike. It was
sharing
a
this time.
pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, please don't forget to send me your
Hmm.
information, your social media, how people can contact you, and so I can
Yeah,
actually
I
put
will.
them
Thank you so much.
in the footer
Okay.
description of this video, so I can actually add you and people can contact you. Maybe they need a really good teacher there, so they can actually go to you.
Thank you so much. And I also teach online, so they don't have to come all the way here.
That's amazing. Then there's
Yeah,
the promo there.
right, through the magic of the internet.
Yeah. All right. There
Thanks
you
so
go
much,
then.
Mike. Thank you for inviting me. I had a
Thank
lovely
you.
time, and I hope that the listeners learned a little something.
Definitely, I think
Yeah,
they will, and they're learning a lot. Definitely.
wonderful. So happy about that.
Thank you very much, Melanie,
All
and I
right.
hope, well, this is an open door, huh?
Yeah,
Anytime that you will actually to come and share a little bit more, go ahead. You're more
I'd
than
love it.
welcome.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Take care, huh?
You too. And thank you very much for joining us in this episode, part two. I really hope you enjoyed, and most of all, I really hope you all actually get something there that you learn, something good out of this episode, something that can help you reach your goals as an educator, as a teacher, something that you can actually use as a tool to help your students reach that goal, to get that fluency, to get the fluency they deserve, they need, they want. Because every student, every kid, everyone has different objectives there. So I really hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you want to know a little bit more, you can go a little bit on the previous episode. Season 3, we also have Season 2 and Season 1, where you can find tons of materials there that you can listen to and learn. And don't forget to talk to us. Come on, put your comments down below and let us know what you think about this episode. What do you think about this fluency? And as I always say, keep learning, keep studying, and don't forget to tune in the Languages Pedagogy Podcast.